That's Stray's Tutoring? Hey guys, welcome to today's video where we will be navigating the levels of biological organization. So we have 10 different levels of biology that we'll talk about. It'll be a very quick video and you guys will get an idea of the structure in the macro level, as in the bigger level starting at the biosphere, and then going as little as something as molecules. So we start off with the biosphere. The biosphere consists of all ecosystems, and most of the regions are dominated by land, the atmosphere, and of course, water, as you guys see here on Earth. Earth is filled with land, water, and the atmosphere. This is considered the biosphere. Of the biosphere, it consists of ecosystems, okay? Then if we see what an ecosystem is, this consists of all living organisms in a specific area. So they actually interact with a lot of non-living things. So when we think of ecosystems, we can think of living plus non-living in a specific area. So all of Earth's ecosystems make up the biosphere. And we can see different examples here where we have the coral reef, we have a desert, and then we have a forest. And in the coral reef, we have non-living things like rock, water, and gases. Then, of course, we have living things like, fish, more fish, more fish, more fish.
Gifts, 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 more gifts. More gifts.
And then in the desert, we have non-living things like the sand and the rock, and then living things like plants, those dry desert plants, okay? Next, we have communities. A community, it includes a wide array of organisms living in an ecosystem. So do you guys see where I'm getting at here? A biosphere consists of all ecosystems, right? And then an ecosystem is comprised of communities, and in these communities, this is the array of organisms. This includes plants, animals, mushrooms, and other fungi, and microorganisms. So within a specific area, we can consider the fish that are in the water, the trees, and maybe this fungus or mold or some type of moss that's growing, all living things into one area. And next we have populations. Populations consist of all individual species in a specific area. So now we can say communities are a set of populations. So before, in the communities, we have all organisms or all types of species together. That includes plants, animals, fungi, and so on and so forth. But in populations, it's one specific species. So we have a population of deer, and then we have a population of, I believe these are maple trees. So these are considered a population, just one specific or individual group of species. Next we have the organism. So I talked about this maple tree and, maple trees, and this being considered a population. But if we look at just one tree within that population, that is considered an organism. Or we can have, and I'm a terrible drawer here, but we can have a whole bunch of ants or something in a population. And if we just want to look at one of these ants in a population, that would be the organism. It is the individual living thing. Now, these organisms are made up of something called organs and organ systems. This is a body part consisting of two or more tissues. An example of this is that same maple tree that we're talking about. These maple trees are comprised of different body parts, the stem, the roots, and one of the parts is the leaf. So this is an organ. Or more specifically, for human organs, we have the tongue, the stomach, the intestines, and all of these organs make up an organ system that work in conjunction with one another to drive function, which will be an organ system. Organs are made up of tissues. So tissues are a group of cells that function together as a unit. If we look over at our leaf tissue, for example, so we have our leaf, think about like a maple leaf. This is the driving example that I'll continue to use. These leaves are made up of tissues, and the tissue is made up of the epidermis, mesophyll, and veins. Or, to be more relatable, I guess, we have the brain, and this brain or this organ is made up of tissues. There's specific tissues. There's nervous, muscle tissue, connective tissue, and epithelial tissue. And again, these are a group of cells that function together as a unit. So you can see with this muscle tissue, there are individual cells. So they're groups of cells that work together, the same type of cells. This leads us to the cells, where tissues are made up of cells, and these cells are fundamental to structure and function. So an example here, we can see, if we zoom in with the microscope, we can see individual plant cells that consist of chloroplasts. So each of these are a different cell. They are a specific unit of structure that drive function. So now we go to organelles. And if we go back to our photo here, an example of an organelle is chloroplasts, which are found in each cell. And organelles are important for functionality, and it's the main component that makes up cells. So the example that we use is chloroplast, which is used in plants to conduct photosynthesis and photosynthetic reactions. If we move on to organelles, to molecules, which is our last slide, these organelles and everything in life is made up of molecules. So molecules are chemical structure consisting of two or more smaller chemical units called an atom. And everything in life is made up of these small atoms that come together to form molecules. And I've made plenty of videos before talking about biological macromolecules. So these are molecules that drive function, that are important in biosynthesis, biochemical reactions, and the overall drive for life. Okay, so that is the levels of biological organization. It starts big with the biosphere and then going as small as molecules. All right, so this was just a quick video going over the 10 levels. If you guys have any questions, let me know down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.